Hello everyone, this is our lecture number 39. In this lecture, we discuss about the one-way continuous slab. In our previous lecture, we discussed about the simply supported slab. Okay, so in case of one-way simply supported slab, we have see some clauses given in our IS 456-2000 for designing the simply supported slab. So here we have given some points in our code for design the one-way continuous slab. So in this lecture we discuss that points, and after that in our further lectures we take a problem based on one-way continuous slab. So let's write some points which are given in our code. Point number 1, in case of large halls, auditoriums, marriage halls, etc., the length is divided into equal bays by providing beam perpendicular to length. The slab provided over such area is called one-way continuous slab. Means if this is our hole, okay, and this is our slab which we cast, and this is our beam B1, B2, B3, B4 and B5. okay, this is LX1, LX2, LX3, LX4, and this one is the LY. So this structure is the one-way continuous slab. Now if I want to design this slab, if you see the cross sectional area of this slab, like if you see in the construction of a bridge, this bridge is look like that. This like that. So this one is the continuous slab. Here we provide continuous slab, and these two joints is a T section joint, and this one is the L section joint. So in this case we have to design this continuous slab. Okay, so in first point they say, in case of large halls, auditorium, marriage halls, the length is divided into equal bays. These are the bays. This is 1 bay, 2 bay, 3 bay and 4 bay. 1, 2, 3 and 4. This is the 4 bay. Okay. So by providing beam perpendicular to its length. So beam is provided perpendicular to its length, and the slab over such area is called the one-way continuous slab. Okay. Now point number 2. For the calculation of shear force and bending moment IS 456 2000 page number 36 table number 12 and 13 are used. Actually what happened, if this is our structure, okay, so this is our one beam, this is our one beam, and this is the so on. So if load is applied here, then here moment changes according to the support condition. So if we have to find the shear force and bending moment at each support and center of the beam, we have given table number 12 and 13 in our IS 456 2000 on page number 36. So that table we have used for finding the shear force and bending moment. So here I draw table number 12 and 19 which is given in our code. Like that, here we have given types of load. Here we have given span moment. This one is the span, so span moments, and support moment. Okay, in span moment they divided two parts, near, middle of end span, near, middle of end span, and at middle of interior span. And same, this divided in two parts, at support next to end support, and at other interior support. Okay, so here you have given when dead load and live load is fixed, and one condition is given when live load or imposed load not fixed. So they have given values for that, plus 1 by 12, plus 1 by 12, and this is plus 1 by 10, this one is plus 1 by 16, this one is plus 1 by 12, minus 1 by 10, minus 1 by 9, minus 1 by 12, and minus 1 by 9. So near mid of the end span means that is the point. Okay, at middle of interior span means this is the point. At support next to the end support, so this is our end support, and at support next to the end support, yani ki this is the support, and at interior support, so this one is the interior support, so this is the interior support. So like that you have to find the bending moment or shear force. This is the table of bending moment, this table number 12 for bending moment coefficient. Same table we have given for shear force coefficient, and that table is the table number 13. Okay, so that table you have to see in our IS 456 2000. Now point number 3, as the coefficient for dead load and live load are different, so dead load and live load are calculated separately. When you visit IS 456 2000, you see table number 12 and 13, there are different values for both bending moment and shear force, and dead load and live load. So for that, what you have to do, you have to find the dead load and live load separately. Okay. Point number 4, in one way continuous slab, negative bending moment will be produced at the top intermediate support. Thus, negative reinforcement is provided over the intermediate support. What happened if this is our diagram? This is our continuous slab. Okay, so in one way continuous slab, if you draw a deflection curve, then this deflection curve is draw like that, and so on. Means from here we go downwards, and at that support this go upward, because if we find the shear force and bending moment, if this part is go upward, then here we have some load. So if I want to draw the shear force diagram, so this beam goes up and up to that point constant, and here it force downward, so this point is this loop and this is constant, and this one is again up the like that. Okay, so if I consider this beam and here we applied some force, so this beam is deflect at the top, and this goes deflection curve like this, and this beam is again deflected. So from that point and that point it deflects, so it is look like that. So here we provide the negative reinforcement. Okay, so this is the point number 4 which we have considered for the one way continuous slab. Point number 5, for bending moment calculation, coefficient given in IS 456 table number 12 are multiplied by WL square. Here capital W is given, that means a small w into A. Point number 6, for shear force coefficient given in IS 456 table number 13 are multiplied by WL. We know that bending moment and shear force, so that formula we use for calculating the bending moment and shear force. Point number 7, maximum shear force occur at the support next to the end support. Therefore, slab must be checked for shear at this support. Okay, the maximum shear force occur at the support next to the end support. There, slab must be checked for the shear at this support. Point number 8, the slab must be checked for deflection at the location of maximum positive bending moment. The slab must be checked for deflection at the location where maximum positive bending moment is there. And last point, the slab must be checked for development length at the end support. So these are the points which we have used for designing the one-way continuous slab. So you have to remember these points and visit IS 456 2000 for the bending moment and shear force coefficient table, which is table number 12 and table number 13. Now here I show you the detailed reinforcement structure for one-way continuous slab, because in continuous slab we have number of reinforcement provided. So you have to know at how much or where we have to provide the reinforcement and the length of bent up bars and the length of reinforcement where we provide for the maximum negative bending moment. If this is our structure, okay, so here we have to provide reinforcement. So this one is our main reinforcement bar. This one is our main reinforcement bar. This is our wall, okay. So up to this main reinforcement we say small d, and overall depth we say is capital D, capital D, okay, and center of that we say this is L1, this is L2, and so on. And here we provide bent up bars. So this bent up bar distance from this point to this point is L1 by 7. Here we provide reinforcement for maximum negative moment. So it's look like that. When you find the reinforcement, it's look like that. So this distance is L1 by 4, and this is also L1 by 4, this distance, okay, and this distance and this distance from here to here and here to here we say L1 by 5, and here we say L2 by 5. because here our length is L2. Same structure here we have. So from this point to this point, this is L1 by 4, this is again L1 by 4, and from here to here and here to here, this is L2 by 5 and this is L3 by 5. Okay, so this is our section. So in this way you have to provide the reinforcement, and you have to provide distribution reinforcement also. So this is our distribution reinforcement, like this. So this is the detailed reinforcement diagram for one-way continuous slab. Okay, this is the section. So in this way you have to draw the diagram, and for solving that one-way continuous slab you have to follow these points. So thank you guys. If you have any query, then comment me in my comment box. In next lecture we have discussed problem based on one-way continuous slab. Thank you.